I'm Merra Lee Moffitt, and I'm going to talk to you about Get Paid Now, billing the clients the way that they've agreed to pay you. So if you say it's going to be so much per hour, and then you're not keeping track of your time, you're really not charging the client for something they already agreed to pay. So as an example, I have a client who is an accountant, and he charges so much per hour for the time that he's working on your accounting. But he wasn't keeping adequate phone logs, so you could call him up and they could have a 20-minute conversation about your project or about your business, and it was not getting recorded anywhere. So for him, just kind of the simple, easy first step that we did was to keep a phone log by the phone and, record how much time they're spending working through that accounting issue. Now, it's not like you're trying to charge for every penny and every minute of time, but most of us who charge for our time kind of have a rule of thumb. Well, if it's only 10 or 15 minutes, I'm not going to charge. But if you're not keeping track, you don't even know. And you've already made the agreement with the client up front that my billing rate is $150 an hour, if that's what it is, and they've already pretty much agreed that yes, they're going to pay you for that. Setting up people for surprise overruns. So I gave the example of, this is one of my picture. In my next picture, I've got a picture of, you're working onto someone's wall, and you open up the wall because you're going to replace the sheetrock, and you find that there's black mold behind it. Well, now you've got a whole different set of problems that you didn't realize and you can't see when you're opening up. I think, Don, I'm sure this happens to you, is if you're taking out windows and then you go and you find that there's water damage inside of the walls. And now all of a sudden it's it's not $400 for that window, it's it's $500, $600, $700 because we got to go in and fix the internal problem. And those are the kinds of things that no matter how careful you are in your bid process and your proposal process, you're not going to know, and you can't say, well, you can't always charge for it until you know. So when you're setting up the project with the client and you say, we've had these kinds of experiences in the past, and just wanted to let you know that when we find this, we have to take corrective action. I also have an example of opening up and finding bad wiring, or what recently happened in our office is they put in a new server and found that all the Comcast wiring couldn't handle the new load. Right? There were many ports that didn't work. There were ports that were running together and causing misfeed across the building. And that's not something that you can ever predict. But if you share with the client those kinds of stories, they're a little more accepting when you say, when this $1,000 project all of a sudden turns into a $1,500 to $2,000 project. Also establishing the ground rules at the beginning. Sometimes if we say that we're going to take a 30% deposit today, and in 30 days we will have accomplished this much, and then there'll be 20% of the full bill, 40% at the next phase, at the end of the next phase, and kind of 10% at the end of the last little bit of punch list items. Talk to them about how you handle late payments, so they're not surprised when you call them, and tell them the ways to pay so that you're making it easy for them. So we're again talking about billing as agreed. And what I'm saying is that the client has already agreed to pay you for the work that you're doing. It's just setting the stage so that they are not so surprised or taken aback or think it's your fault when the $1,000 becomes $2,000. Because sometimes there are surprises. In writing or by common agenda notes, making a list of things that, this, when you have your proposal, this doesn't include these kinds of things. So that you're giving them some examples of out-of-scope work. And then I say alert early and often. I'll use as the example the IT service that we use in our business. Every time someone calls customer service, an alert gets sent into our office that says, how much time they're spending. So you can quickly find out that the bill is going to be larger than you expected, and the end customer is not so surprised. And if there's something that they can do that's corrective to help keep their bill down, like, I don't know, like having the kids. We had a problem in our house with the plumbing, in that the kids weren't closing the shower door. Actually, it was with the shower curtain, and we replaced it with a shower door so that they weren't running water down onto the floor and causing water in the subfloor problems. Billing as agreed. I'm also talking about finding lost billings. A lot of times when I'm working with clients, I have them do a project analysis of the profitability, what they scoped the project as, the time that they actually spent, and how it was billed. And one time I found that all the employees weren't clocking the time correctly as when they started. So if this was a painting company, and you would arrive at the site and start collecting your materials to walk in the door and start painting, and they were only starting the billing when they started to paint, when they really needed to start the billing when they arrived on site. So they weren't billing for the setup time or the cleanup time. So I recommend going through with my clients on a sample profitability, a sample project. Have we accounted for how much time it takes to do a proposal, how much time it takes to do the pre-sales, how much time it takes to do collections? So are our projects being profitable? And wherever possible, I recommend very, very simple systems that are either electronic or automatic,